This classroom is very peaceful and happy. Suddenly a student falls dead for no apparent reason. However, this is only the beginning of a series of horrifying tragedies that are about to happen very quickly. 98 minutes of children across the country were infected with a mysterious and lost their lives because to ensure safety, the government imprisoned countless families in extreme fear. The strange thing is that the children were lucky to survive this virus. Suddenly their bodies have a relatively strong superpowers so that the whole country can worry less. The President of the United States has now informed the people about the progress of the government research because of the child. His son named Grancy is also considered one of the remaining cases after that epidemic, and now during the experiment, the boy is recovering in a position, which has given people more hope. About this research and another development, little Ruby initially had a very happy life on Ruby's birthday. Her parents gave her a set of keys. After waking up, she suddenly possessed superpower, but what was worse was that her mother no longer recognized who she was. After hearing this, Ruby's mood completely deteriorated. She was reported by her mother to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention within a short time of her life. Her happy life disappeared after Ruby and the children in the same situation were sent to a quarantine camp where she was frightened when she witnessed a young man take a gun and commit suicide under beatings. After the brutality of the guards, after Ruby's diagnosis and treatment, she learned the truth that the children who survived the virus all had superpower, and these superpower were divided into 5 different types. Green means that person IQ is among the smartest in the world. Blue means they can move everything just by thinking. Yellow, they can manipulate electricity, where orange and red is a very rare and extremely dangerous type, because they can kill people in the blink of an eye. This doctor was also able to classify Ruby. He realized that the girl in front of him belonged to the dangerous organe type, so he immediately tried to control Ruby. She felt something was wrong, so she had to use her superpowers to control the doctor's mind, causing him to change his power level to green in the area. The current safe zone, the government cannot control the children of the red and orange type, so in the concentration camp there can only exist children of the 3 color. The rest they control the children and give them agitated like a prisoner. Time passed quickly like a chess piece, being carried away by exciter. In the blink of an eye, 10 years have passed. Ruby was now discovered by people in the organization that she was not like the blue-collar kids. This guy accidentally causes the children to go through a series of tests and brutal torture by evil villains by putting the children in a space and letting them hear sounds that only they can hear, could be heard, so that the more they listened, the more painful it would become. Finally, the children would have to reveal their superpower. Ruby couldn't stand it anymore and immediately fainted, so she was taken to the evaluation room. When I woke up, I discovered that I was lying on the hospital bed, and the female doctor who was assessing Ruby's abilities looked very friendly and took the opportunity to leave a word of encouragement for the girl who was discovered by the army. Turns out Ruby belongs to the dangerous orange color, so Ruby immediately used the key that she secretly gave her to escape the hospital room as easily as eating candy. Then she went to the address as instructed and met the ending, so the two immediately fled this place called Hell on Earth. In the process of moving, they encountered a guard who was suspicious, so he checked very carefully. Fortunately, Ruby was there in time. Using their superpower to solve this problem, they successfully escaped control and were now outside. Almost children across the country had become extinct under the infection of the virus that caused the economy to collapse and the society to become more and more degenerate and lacking vitality. At this time, Ruby was worried that sooner or later she would get into trouble, so she gave Ruby a necklace to wear. Unable to locate where she was, she decided to send Ruby to an organization called the Children Federation. This organization specializes in helping and protecting children with superpower who are secretly fighting against the government. The government then met Ruby, who came to pick them up in the suburbs. Ruby accidentally touched Ruby and discovered that in the past he had used force to capture other runaway children, which caused she thinks the Children Federation also has a problem and is trying to hide a secret from her. After Ruby goes to a small supermarket's next door to change clothes, she accidentally meets a Chinese girl who can. Seeing this, Ruby decided to chase the girl before finding herself. Ruby climbed into the car where the little girl was hiding. Then the two companions of the little start returned. After driving for a while, they discovered that Ruby was in the back and knew that the girl with the parachute hair had just escaped from the concentration camp, so Liam agreed to let Ruby go with everyone. At this time, they discovered that there was some car was following. It turned out to be Ruby and Kate was driving this car. They seemed to want to rescue Ruby, but were misunderstood and stopped by Liam's group of friends. In the end, this guy used his power. I let myself control the rocks, causing the car I was chasing to crash straight into the water after escaping. Ruby knew that Liam was in the green level. No Chops was also in the green level, and the little star was in the yellow level. In order not to scare her companion, Ruby also lied that she belonged to the green level. Ruby knew that the Children Federation really wanted to use the children abilities to help them win the battle. The brutal war between them and the government at this time. The group is going to the reserve, where this a paradise for people with superpowers. That night, while sleeping, Ruby accidentally touched the asteroid Bobby, and this caused she saw the memories of the little girl. Liam had helped the children escape from the concentration camp. They were hiding together. When he also accidentally picked up the little girl who had been alone since then, seeing Liam as her only support. The next day Ruby accepted the kindness from the little star. The girl forced the heroine to wear a red dress. Sure enough, Ruby looked so beautiful in person that it made Liam's eyes dizzy, but when the two of them were chatting together when they were caught by a few people, Ruby was afraid they would act aggressively and cause trouble for the whole group, so she used her superpower, causing the couple to quickly get in the car and leave. Reacting strangely, their strange behavior made Liam feel surprised. Then the Fantastic Four went to an abandoned shopping center to stock up on food, but the children were attacked by a group of people with other superpower under great pressure and the ability to control his opponent. Liam could only Ruby tightly and continue to dodge their attacks until the asteroid appeared and lit up the whole space. Only then did they realize that Ruby and Liam didn't come here to take them away to express his sincere apologies. The team leader allowed everyone to sleep over tonight and even shared some of his food with Liam team that night. While talking, Ruby and everyone happened to learn some more information about the mysterious sanctuary. However, the other party had no intention of telling them where that sanctuary was. But who would have thought that Ruby had secretly used it, using their powers, and from there they learned important information called Edo, but the chaps tried countless ways but still could not decode it. At this time, Ruby accidentally talked to her father, a policeman, through the phone. Thanks to that, CHS figured out that Edo was actually a hidden radio signal. The two of them quickly used a CET to detect the signal and learned that the sanctuary was located at Prinbank Lake, Virginia. But before going there, Ruby wanted to returning to her home here. She quickly realized that on the night of her birthday, she accidentally erased her parent memories with her own superpowers that made her a stranger in her father's eyes. Ruby's mother was not allowed to step into her house even one step, and she had to turn around and leave in tears. But when she and Liam returned to the car, the kidnapper suddenly appeared. Of course, she captured the little girl. Tin and CHS saw everyone in a dangerous situation, so Ruby decided to use her superpower to make the other person throw away her weapon like a lost soul and go straight into the deep forest. After everything was over, Ruby chose to apologize to her teammates, but the captain said that he had guessed Ruby's true strength a long time ago because the time they went together, there were extremely strange things Ruby did afterward. The four superheroes walking towards Prince Lake, everyone finally found the so-called sanctuary. They quickly discovered that the head of this area turned out to be the son of the president of Sini. He and Ruby were the only person at this time who possesses orange superpower. At the midnight party, the female protagonist looked at the children living together regardless of race and freely playing and jumping extremely happily. She suddenly felt that she had found a true home for the soul following Liam's invitation to dance, and Ruby felt the power of love for the first time. The next day, Clancy took the initiative to find Ruby because he had been taken out by his father as a guinea pig for the experiment, from which he gained experience in researching and preparing the antidote to Clancy. He also told Ruby everything. Then he started a special training course for the female lead to let her have she was able to control her superpower better under his training. Ruby gradually mastered a number of powers during this training. Clancy learned more about Ruby. He also learned that she had accidentally erased them all. Clancy's memories of his parent were hoping that Ruby could teach him how to erase other people's memories, and Ruby agreed to that, but it turned out that Clancy just wanted to force the female lead into bed with him. This made her feel disappointed and extremely disappointed, so she gave him a slap on the jaw and ran outside, then told Liam about this problem. Liam was extremely angry after hearing this, wanted to go to Clancy to get revenge, but Ruby stopped him. She said she really wanted to get out of this place as quickly as possible, so they went to the Little Star and accepted to prepare to leave the reserve. But on the way the group clashed with a group of soldiers who came to arrest them. Then Granny appeared in front of everyone. It turned out that he had long ago used his superpower to imprison Mr. Bow and take control, army and plans to become the leader of all those who possess superpower and rule the whole world. Upon hearing this, Ruby immediately used her power to control Soldier with the perfect combination. With the two people successfully repelled the enemy, but they immediately turned used combat helicopter and brought in people with red level superpower. They could spit out extremely scary flames, causing Ruby and everyone to quickly be surrounded and cornered. Unexpectedly, the paradise that the group wanted to go to at first has now become hell under Clancy control. The children who wanted to escape suddenly returned. Kneeling on the ground, Ruby controlled Vin's Soldier to turn around and attack Clancy, but his strength was far superior to Ruby. He easily turned the situation around and took the upper hand, seeing that Clancy was controlling him and preparing to erase his memories. Ruby quickly controlled the pilot so that the helicopter was hovering in the air, immediately rushed down to the two of them. This gave her a chance to escape, and that bastard Clancy ate the whole thing. The plane was hit by a terrible explosion that filled the place with smoke and fire. Fortunately, he was there in time to help Ruby escape the danger zone, but he was seriously burned and saw the painful expression of his friend Ruby right away. Immediately activated the locator transmitter that he had given her, hoping that someone would come to help treat Chick Wound. It wasn't until the next day that Liam found the two of them. He even brought him and Rob along with the rebels, because Crush was captured. Ruby had no choice but to agree to help the rebels fight Sini, so that Liam wouldn't have to care for her anymore. The female lead gave him a passionate kiss and took away all the notes, her memories in his mind. After having all his memories erased, Liam immediately became wary of Ruby and concluded. However, the female lead secretly installed a mysterious keychain on Liam's backpack. On the other side, Clancy remained, while he was still alive. He took over the presidency and gathered all the soldiers to prepare for battle, and Ruby, under his guidance, found all the other people with superpowers to join the alliance. Even though these children have different skin colors and races, but they all agree to follow Ruby and choose to fight against Granny's evil army. This is the end of the movie. Hello and see you all in part 2 of the movie.